So Josh, you and Don have been looking at the tower and just kind of guesstimating a little bit on length of some new cable or heliac we're looking to order. And what are you guys coming up with for a length?
Well, we're coming up with a length to give us plenty to get into the building of 150 feet.
150?
Yeah, and that should give us plenty to have a nice drip loop on the outside, and plenty of slack here on the outside where it's not tight and there's no load on the cable or anything. Everything will be happy.
Right, and let's talk a little bit about why we're even discussing this. Why are we discussing this? What's the reason for upgrading the cable?
Well, seemingly the cable that's on there is not doing the job. It's giving us too much SWR, and it's so we're going with a hard line. That way we know that'll work fine.
Okay.
If we're having any loss at all,
right,
it's affecting our performance, we'll eliminate that loss.
Some of that loss.
By going with the heliax cable.
And according to what we were talking about at our meeting last night, that's pretty significant. It could be 1 or 2 dB loss.
It could very well be, yeah.
Yeah.
It could very well be.
Okay. Well, good deal. All right. Well, folks, we'll come back in the next segment. We're probably going to whip out a SWR analyzer and some other things, and we're trying to tackle why we're not getting as good a performance on the top antenna, which is the Monticello repeater antenna, and we're trying to improve performance, as well as we're trying to also isolate some 60 hertz hum that we think is in there as well. So we'll be back in just a few. Don's got his little lithium ion battery pack, connecting it to the Comet. What we got there, Don?
Well, you got it over in the 440 band, so we don't want that. We want the 2 meter band.
Right. That doesn't look bueno at all.
No, it doesn't look no good at all. See?
Yeah. So about 3, and the ohmage is off as well.
So there's a problem somewhere. That's why that was in there.
Right.
No. I'm
No
wondering if I
jumper.
should climb up there and just unscrew the coax off
Just
the
look?
antenna and just see if there's any water or something in there.
Well, of course, that's a Comet. Shouldn't be any water in there because that's under a shell.
There shouldn't be, Don, but I've run into that before down at Jim's where we just put that tower up.
Yeah.
He had a really high SWR problem that wasn't getting out, and I was down there and I ran it with my Enritsu and came up with a high SWR, and I said, I really don't understand what's going on, and I took it all down, pulled it out of the jacket that it's up inside of, and there was ice in between the 239 and the 259 where they screw together. And it actually had been there long enough that it worked its way all the way down through the coax. I had to throw away 20 feet coax.
I've seen times where fellows would have problems, I'd go in and check it, and then I'd let the coax down and water drip out on the floor out in the coax.
Exactly. So I know it shouldn't have water there, and you would think to yourself it's impossible. But I've seen water in there in the past. Not in this particular antenna because I've never looked at it, but I've seen the same style antennas of multiple brands fill up with water like that. I have no explanation for it. It almost seems like as the wind's blowing and it's driving the rain up inside there.
Oh, it can.
Yeah, it can. It's very possible. So
Do we have anything with us that we could connect to the top of that coax with like a dummy load and check the coax down here and take
I
the
have a
antenna
small
out?
dummy load I could take up there. And Don probably has
Don's
one
got
too.
one right there.
One right here, see?
Yeah.
All you have to do
we
is
could
just
check and just see what the coax is doing.
Right.
We can check the coax, yeah. I could take that up there with me,
there you are.
unscrew the coax, put that right on top, because there's really no sense doing anything else
Right.
We're trying.
without until we know our SWR is good.
Right.
Yeah.
That could be the whole entire problem, and it could be just a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Could be like I said. Now I've seen times where we've had antennas like that that's actually the fiberglass is cracked.
I've had that happen
I'm
myself too.
worried
Water.
about that.
Water run down
Water
inside
gets
of
in
it.
there.
Could have a crack.
It's very unlikely on that particular antenna because they're so short. They don't get a lot of wind load. They don't flex a lot.
Right.
It's not likely, but it could be just a UV problem where the UV just ate it up. It could be old enough. A bird could have come by and
Struck it.
flown into it or struck it. I had a bat caught on one of my whips one time. He was flying by and got pierced in the wing and was hanging on the whip, and I had to.
You don't know at the time that I've gone to 88 sites, see dead buzzards laying in the field, laying out there in the grass because they hit them guy wires and
Come
everything.
flying in there at full speed.
And I've actually taken antennas down that the grounding radios will be bent because the vultures land roost on the bed.
Roost on them and yeah, got them too heavy. So
now
not
it looks
opposed
like we're climbing, huh?
I'm not opposed to climbing up there, and I'll bring that dummy load and I'll unscrew the cuff, give it a good look at.
Yeah.
If it's full of water, I mean that's going to be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And if it is full of water, the chances of that coax being full of water are pretty high too.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think your idea of running the dummy load's a great idea. And we'll do a test then, and we'll see.
Okay. Well, in the next segment, it looks like we're climbing.
You know, when I stuck it up there the other day, it didn't feel
Yeah,
super sticky.
it'll stick, but not
It doesn't have the magnetic power.
meant to hold the wind.
No, and it gets windy up here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we're up pretty high.
There's not a lot up here to really block the wind either,
No,
No.
you're on top of the hill.
which is ideal for an antenna. So why we standing and I
Up and away.
Alrighty. Be safe.
and they're like, I heard them comment one time, who's that? You know, this is kind of an obscure frequency. It's not like the natural calling frequency. And so I heard, and they were kind of in a little area. And so
So Josh is going up the tower now. Probably take him about 4 or 5 minutes. He is extremely in really good shape, so won't take him too long. And then he'll get all belted in and so forth. And we'll bring you back once he's up at the top. But mainly we're wanting to check the SWR of just the cable without the antenna. So he's taking a dummy load with him so he can do that. Josh is almost up there now. Taking a rest. And it's cold today. It's he's got his weather gloves on, but I don't think it's going to even get above 45 today. So that metal is cold, and then you've got additional wind up there. So he's multi-layered to stay warm. He's got his gloves. So now he's up at the top. He's got to get completely harnessed in, make sure that he's safely attached. And then he's going to remove the cable from the antenna, and we're going to put the dummy load on it and then check the SWR, and we're going to be checking the cable. But we suspect we've either got water in the cable or possibly water in the antenna. Or both. So now he's all safety harnessed in and buckled in, and he's working on removing the coax from the antenna. And he's got to remove that outer sleeve that goes from the end that protects the coax going into the antenna. He's got to remove that, so he's got a wrench. 10 meters, I think, is what we use there. Pretty soon he'll be disconnecting that coax, attaching the dummy load, and we'll check the SWR again.
Yep. So they have to put it in.
The antenna itself looked okay. No noticeable water in the connection. Definitely some water inside the tube, but nothing I can see inside the connection. Maybe I'll go ahead and test it with cable for OSS.
Okay, Josh, we'll be running a test. AC-41.
So Josh has attached the dummy load up at the top. He doesn't currently see water that is in the antenna or anything, but yeah, it's as good as it gets. Pretty close anyway. So we're running a sweep now, and it's not moving much at all, and it's where it should be. Dipping down just a little bit on the elms, but that's in the upper. It's pretty flat though, Don.
Yeah. 1.0. All right, let's see, this is 142, 1.1, 143, 1.0, 1.1 at 145.
Nothing wrong with the cable.
So the antennas, the antenna and the cable are okay?
Antenna's the burger.
Yeah. The antenna's the problem.
Oh, the cable's good, but the antenna's no good.
KO4OSS, AC40M.
Yeah, go ahead, Don.
All right, the SWR is 1.1 to 1.2 across the whole band, and it looks good, so it looks like we got a bad antenna.
Alright, should I just bring this one down with me? There's really no sense putting it back up, is there?
Yeah, it's not working, and that's probably what the problem is. They're like, that's what's giving us all that problem. You know, it's probably degraduating and everything else, so that's breaking down. And so if we put this thing in here, it should just go straight in without anything at all with a 1.1 or 1.2 with a good antenna.
He should bring, if he brings it down, we can hook a jumper up to it and
brand
test.
new antenna in this box at my home 20. I can get down and go home and get it, be back here within an hour. If we don't have another one down there to put back up.
Well, we don't have nothing down here at all, so I didn't even think about it. That, you know, that's what you get when you get over 30 years old. You don't even start forgetting everything.
I was thinking that as I left my house this morning, I was thinking, Don, man,
You
I
did.
should have brought that antenna with me just in case.
He
I
mentioned
really
it to
don't
me
mind
on the way
running
over.
home to get it. You know, it's brand new in the box. I didn't put it together.
That would fix our
Other than
immediate
that, I put it
problem.
right back in the box. It'll take a few minutes to assemble it and get it up here. I think I've got a tag rope in my truck. Should have everything I need, really, with me besides the antenna. If you guys are all for that, I'll just head down with this one. And you guys can peek at it while I go to get that other one, if that sounds like a plan.
I'm fine with that. I got nothing going on. so-
That sounds fine. Everybody agrees. That sounds fine because we know the one that's up there is not going to do the job.
Wait, I have to go shopping.
Okay, well, I'm going to disconnect the dummy load and get myself unhitched and start making my way down. And I'll see you guys on the ground here momentarily. KO4, listen.
KO4OSS, AC40M credit.
You know, it's a great asset having people in the club that can time
huge.
showers.
It's huge.
No.
So Don, there really can't be anything but the antenna, right? With the cable.
Well, when you process elimination, when you take the antenna off and you put a dummy load on it, which we tested, the dummy load was reading perfect. You go up there and we still read perfect, then process elimination tells you where the problem is.
All right. So Josh is now in the process of bringing the antenna down with him. Again, carefully as possible, being safe. And it's kind of weird, but you know, sometimes these things happen. So
this is not the easiest tower to climb or the most comfortable. It's got some climbing rungs on it, but I'll have to deal with the solar panel that's up here, so I'm just going to go up this way. That way I'll have a straight shot. I won't have to change sides. Always making sure we have 3 points of contact at all times. The view gets better and better with every step. Stop here and rest just a second. Don't want to get too worked up. Gotta climb back down off of this thing. Just about breaching the tree line up here. We'll be completely exposed to the weather. Not that it's not a beautiful day, but there is a little bit of a breeze. All right, just about through with the first 90 feet. All right, there we go. There's 90 feet behind us. Stop here for a minute. Rest a second. Just now start to see a little glimmer of water over there in the lake, right about Rogers Grove. Really pretty spot of the lake there. About to the top. A few more feet to go. Made it back to the top. Now go ahead and get ourselves all harnessed in here. Huh? All right.
It won't leak worth of nothing.
And then it won't do anything.
And
'cause
then
it's
next thing
got-
you know, water's building up inside of here.
Exactly.
It can't. Okay.
Oh, because the weep hole's been covered
The
up.
weep hole's been covered. They know from the factory that water's going to get in here.
If I didn't know that, or if it didn't have instructions, I got to use an antenna. I
You
would
wouldn't know?
possibly be liable for doing that because it's one of those. The more you know,
Right.
you know.
If I hadn't had the experience I have with these and had seen them fill up full of water and stripped them apart, literally took them apart to fix the problem and put them back together again, this is the biggest failure right here. This cap.
That rubber.
because this fiberglass is going into this aluminum.
Okay.
This cap is kind of the cap over it to try to shed the water away.
Mm-hmm.
If this cap isn't glued on well,
Mm-hmm.
and this isn't glued into here well, that water goes in here and it piles up on that load. There's a load inside here just like the load inside that one.
Mm-hmm.
And once that water gets up there and it's covered the whole, it's a dead shore.
Oh yeah.
I can show you some down there where it's done that.
Oh yeah.
And it's all black inside there, and all where all them caps are and all that. They're just burning
They're
too.
burning too. Yeah, they just can't handle it. And they know in the factory that there's a problem when water gets inside these. If it doesn't get out of there, it can be an issue. And that's why they started putting that weep in there. And that's a big mistake people make, is they want to seal it up tight and they don't allow for that water to get back out. To the southeast from the tower, that would be down towards Pickett State Park, Tennessee. Rotating around to a southern view. This would be pretty much to the south. Come around to where you can finally start seeing the actual city of Monticello. A little bit of Morris Hill there, the hill we're on, blocking out a lot of it right there. And if we come around, you can start to see more of actual downtown Monticello. Right in there, that's it. That copper colored roof right there at the top of the screen, right in the center, that is Country Farm and Home. Country Farm and Home is located at the corner of 90 and North Main. That'll give you an idea where you're at right there. And that big busy road right there, that is North Main. Coming right on down into downtown Monticello. And we keep panning around. You know, we're back looking north about right there. We can come back around to the northeast. And there's the quarry.
All right, so now we're back in the shack with the Comet analyzer, and we've got the jet stream connected to a cable on the outside, and Josh is holding it up in the air. That looks pretty good there, Don.
1.4 right there.
Yeah. Now if we run a sweep,
So we're going to be on 145.150,
Right.
which is down here.
right. So it was about 1.5, I think it was. And I think that's what Josh and I got,
Yeah.
was 1.5.
And the coax is 1.4, so part of that could be
Yeah.
the coax.
Oh,
Right.
okay. All right, yeah.
So that should.
And that's going to wrap up this week's video. One of the things we like to do is showcase Josh's skills, not only in his work life, but also in his hobby life, this being amateur radio. We hope you liked the video, and we hope you enjoyed some of the shots Josh got on top of the tower as he was installing the new antenna. Give us some comments down below, and we want to thank you for watching. Subscribe and like, and we'll see you in the next video.